Good morning and happy Friday! Yay, it's Friday. I slept in this morning. Did anyone else sleep in? I slept in, so we're running late, but it's Friday and I'm so excited because we have a very calm day and I am just looking forward to Friday and the weekend. I hope you are as well. Today we're going to be talking about why you need to stop feeling guilty about being an introvert, if you're an introvert, or the whole concept of introverts and extroverts and how that looks in relationships. So good morning. Yay, Mackenzie, you're here. And then we'll do an Ask Me Anything at the end. Okay, good morning. So glad to be here. And also the book that I was showing in the beginning, I used to be so organized. This is the book that we're starting on Monday for our unofficial book club, and we will be I will be scoping and blogging through it, and so if you'd like to grab a copy so you can join us, I'd love for you to join us in that. So that's I Used to Be So Organized by Glennis Whitwer. So happy to have you all here today. How many of you are introverts and how many of you are extroverts and how many of you just don't really know? I'd love to hear. I am an introvert. I am an INTJ for those of you who are into Myers-Briggs. That means that I'm introverted. I have intuition and in thinking and judgment. I think I got that right. So introverts unite separately and in our own homes, right? Outgoing introvert. Yeah, I think I'm a high introvert because that means that I love people and I love being around people, but I refuel by quiet. So it's Friday. I was kind of a hot mess yesterday. If some of you saw my scope, yesterday afternoon, it was just not a good afternoon, and there was just a lot of crazy. And then if you saw my scope, I talked about how I went to the dermatologist and showed up for my appointment that I thought was my appointment, and discovered that they had called me 3 weeks ago to cancel my appointment, but they were so gracious about it and fit me in with another doctor. But I had to sit there for 40 minutes and wait, and I had brought nothing to do other than my phone, because this is always one of those places where you just get right in and you get right out. And I was like, for real, the one time I don't bring a book or anything to do, I sit for 40 minutes. It just cracked me up, because wasn't I the person that talked about how important it is to always bring a book with you and always have something with you? So anyway, I went to the dermatologist appointment that was not, that then was, and sat for 40 minutes, and then finally had my appointment, got back home, and then went to do my scope, and I got home right before I started my scope, and then I did my title completely wrong. It was like How to Money Without Losing Your Integrity. And then hardly anyone showed up, and I was a hot mess. And so anyway, I just cracked up, because earlier this week when or last week, whenever that was, it was earlier this week, I did the minimalist wardrobe, and we had the most people who have ever showed up, and I thought, I am just rocking. I'm just rocking this Periscope thing. And then, I think every time that I kind of feel like I am really doing a good job with this, and then God says, remember, you have a lot that you still need to learn. So anyway, it is what it is. But I thought, it's good for you all to see that I'm a hot mess too sometimes, a lot of the time. So how to money. And also, by the way, I learned something yesterday, and that is if you title your scopes really wrong, where it doesn't make sense at all, very few people watch the replay too. So just a little tip there. Make sure that you reread your titles like 4 times before you hit start broadcast. Okay, so this afternoon, I'm going to try again, and we are going to do a Money Making Mom scope on how to find balance as a work-at-home mom. So this was a question that was submitted, and so we'll be talking about how to find balance. And if you're a work-at-home mom where you're feeling like, how do I shut the door on work? How do I not let work take over my life? How do I figure out how to balance everything and have a healthy balance? We'll be talking about that. So that is at 3 p.m. Central Time. And I think that's all that I wanted to let you know. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal Payne. I am the founder of MoneySavingMom.com, as well as the New York Times bestselling author of the book Say Goodbye to Survival Mode, and I'm also the creator of the 14-day online course Make Over Your Mornings, and that's at makeoveryourmornings.com. If you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed and like your mornings just aren't working well, go to makeoveryourmornings.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you can type in your name and email address and we'll send you day one for free. Now it's Friday, and Friday means that we're just a little bit more laid back and conversational, and I didn't plan out kind of a scripted scope so much, and we can just kind of have fun. So if you are new here, I'd love to know that you're new. Leave a comment, say I'm new, and tell me your name. But just know that this is a little bit different than our usual Friday. So if you're wondering what this is all about, Fridays are a fun day where we just kind of are laid back and I read more comments and interact with you a little bit more. I try to, during most of the time, really bringing very specific content so that when you come on, it's not just rabbit trails and rambling all over like I'm really good at. Your old Jim Bob. Yes, I know that, but I don't know. You should just say, I've been around for a while. So welcome, New York. What's your name? I'd love to know what your name is. Hi, Lena from Hawaii. I am not going to try, I'm going to try not to be jealous of the fact that you're in Hawaii. Yes, earlier this week I talked about how I would love to just be on a beach in Hawaii with a hammock. Hi Kelsey, hi Christy, welcome from Vegas, Ashley, Teresa from Manitoba, Laura from Chicago, another one from Hawaii. Anyway, I cracked up because someone left a comment and she said, I'm a mom and I live in Hawaii, and just for the record, I have really hard days too, and I don't get to have a beach and be in a hammock on the beach. We have to do mom things in Hawaii too. So I thought that was, it's good to remember, you know, sometimes we can look at someone else and think we want their life and realize everybody has hard things. You've been around for a long time, Jim Bob. No, I mean, you've been on a lot of scopes. It's 3 a.m. in Hawaii. What on earth are you doing at 3 a.m. in Hawaii watching a scope? I hope that everything's okay at your house. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about introverts and extroverts. Welcome from New York. Hi from Kentucky. Okay, so I'm an introvert, as I said. My Myers-Briggs is I am an INTJ. And for a long time, I fought against this. I thought, I need to be more outgoing. I need to just love to spend time with people. And I couldn't figure out why I got so drained by people. And I felt like I just need to, power through and push harder. But I get grumpy after a while. When I have been with people for hours and hours and hours, especially if I'm in a situation where I'm speaking or it's requiring a lot of me, like I have to be on, I get drained. And I have found that if I'm at a speaking engagement, after about 3 or 4 hours, it's really good for me to have a break and have some quiet so that it can kind of refuel my tank so I can go pour into people again. And after about 5 or 6 hours, or after about 3 or 4 days of a lot of people, I just feel completely peopled out. I call it peopled out, where I just want to go get in my comfy pants and I want to get a good book and I want to just curl up and have quiet and have no one call me or email me or text me or ring my doorbell. I just want to have quiet. And for a long time I fought against that because I felt like something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me that I can't just love to be with people. Why do I eventually get drained and need quiet? And then I discovered that I'm an introvert. And I should have known this, but I think when I took the Myers-Briggs test and I had the person that facilitated it and they gave me the results of my test and I could not believe how accurate it was. And I was like, finally, someone understands who I am. Someone has gotten inside my brain and they understand how I think. And it helped me to know that there's nothing wrong with me. this is who I am. This is who God has made me to be. And it's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I shouldn't fight against it. So I have stopped feeling guilty about being an introvert. An introvert talk amongst yourselves. I've stopped feeling guilty about being an introvert. And I've started accepting it. And accepting that that is who I am and that is how I function best. And I've started embracing it. Yesterday, I shared a picture on my Instagram. My Instagram is instagram.com/TheMoneySavingMom. And I shared this picture. Let's see if you can see it. Where it's just me in the morning. Oh my goodness, my computer screen looks so dirty. Just don't pay attention to that. Okay, lots of smudges there. But it's me just in the morning, and I'm having my cup of coffee, and I'm writing in my gratitude journal, and doing my quiet time and just spending time with God's Word. And the house is quiet and the house is dark and no one is up. And I said, I love my family. Oh, yes, I do. But as an introvert, my soul craves some quiet in each day. A time to collect my thoughts, to plan out the day, to breathe, to count my blessings, and to have my soul fed with the life-giving words from God's Word. I'm a better wife and mom when I make this a priority. It might mean getting out of bed a little earlier than I feel like some mornings, but it is so worth it. Even just 10 or 15 minutes of quiet can make all the difference in my attitude and peace as I face each day. So I love that. I love that time in the morning when it's just quiet and when I fill up my soul. And I've stopped feeling guilty that I need that quiet in my day so that I can fill up my soul, so that I can give out to others. I've stopped feeling guilty. I've started to embrace it, and I've started, when I feel peopled out, to say, okay, I need quiet, because if I just keep going, when I feel so peopled out, I am going to be grumpy, and I am not going to be a nice person to be around. And so giving myself permission to be an introvert. I need to go introvert sometimes, and that's just to have quiet. And so I'm sharing this with you because I hope maybe some of you can relate to this. Some of you extroverts are like, that is so weird, that is so crazy. I just love being with people. But I hope that others of you who need that quiet can be encouraged that take that time, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, make it a priority, because you are a better wife and mom and business owner, whatever it is, whatever hats you wear, you're better when you take time to fill up yourself. And even if you're an extrovert, make sure that you don't push yourself so hard that you're just running on fumes. The other thing that I think it's important is to understand the difference between introverts and extroverts. And so in relationships, people who are my friends who are extroverts, they can sometimes feel like they're almost pushy in the sense that they want to spend a lot of time. And for me to understand, they're an extrovert and they're not trying to be, pushing their way into my life. It's just their personality. And I can love them and I can love spending time with them, but I can also say to them, you know what? It's been great spending time with you. I need to go have a little bit of quiet. And the introverts also in my life to really understand. I understand them better, and so I can understand when they need quiet, when they maybe can't get together or they need to leave early or whatever because they need quiet. And on the flip side, I think for extroverts to really understand introverts, and for you extroverts to get that we're not being rude, we're not being selfish, it's not because we don't like you, we love you, we just sometimes can't handle a whole bunch of you because it can be overwhelming to us after a while. And so I think for both of us to understand that. Is my hubby an introvert? He is an introvert. And for a long time, I thought that he was an extrovert because he loves people and he's very outgoing. He's the kind of person who we're at a store, he's going to go up and just ask somebody for help, and he's just going to randomly start talking to people when we are at the checkout lane, which cracks me up because I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, you go into the store, you don't need help, you find what you need. If you can't find it, you keep looking, you don't ask for help. But he is someone who, he loves people and he's more outgoing than I. but he is an introvert. And he did the Myers-Briggs recently, and I was actually really surprised because I assumed that he was going to be a low extrovert, and he ended up being an introvert. So I think it's very helpful when we understand others' personalities. It helps us to be able to relate better, and it helps us to be able to understand better, and it helps us to be able to have stronger relationships, because we can see that when someone's doing something, they aren't trying to be difficult, or they aren't maybe being, it can feel like someone said that they've been accused of being snotty. I mean, like you can feel like someone is being a certain way when it's actually just their personality. So loving and embracing and accepting it, but also just stop feeling guilty about the personality that you have. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you, and now I would love to, I'm loving all the comments here, and I can't wait to go back and read all of them. If you have any questions about anything, now is our totally laid back Friday Ask Me Anything. See, it's, I have 10 minutes, so 10 minutes, so we can ask me anything about business, about blogging, about motherhood, about homeschooling, about anything that you'd like to ask about, and the floor is yours, and I will answer questions. So you all, I love that you're wearing your Choose Gratitude shirt today. You're in the launch team and you haven't received the book yet. I have nothing to do with the launch team other than I see what is going on in the Facebook group. If you haven't received the book, I think they said it might be 8 to 10 days. You can ask Stephanie, or you can contact, I think that there's a special email address for those of you who are in the launch team, so you can ask about that as well. What city do I live? We live in the Nashville, Tennessee area. I realized that I didn't tell you more about myself other than the business stuff. Are you a vegetarian or a vegan? No, I am not. Did you make over your mornings for your kids? We haven't gone through the Make Over Your Mornings course with the kids, but we are trying to really help them to learn to have consistent morning routines. Will you ever do any homeschooling scopes? That's a good question. You know, homeschooling is really one of those topics that I'm passionate about. I was homeschooled, my husband's homeschooled. We love homeschooling, and it's been a very, very great fit for our kids. However, I don't feel like it's a platform that I'm called to speak on. It's not, it can be a sort of divisive issue, and I don't feel like it's a hill that I'm called to die on, if that makes sense. But if you have questions about homeschooling specifically, feel free to send them in, because every once in a blue moon I will do a homeschooling post, and I would be more than happy to consider possibly doing some scopes on homeschooling. So if you have questions, feel free to send them in, because I will consider it. But I just try to be careful that I'm not maybe ostracizing or making people feel like it's like this us versus them, because homeschooling can be a little bit divisive. Where do you get some of the cute earrings you wear? Okay, so these are from South Africa. I got them on my last trip. There's this shop at the South African airport that has, these were like $7, and I've worn them and worn them and worn them. One of my favorite places to get earrings is, let me see if I can think of what, okay, there's Charming Charlie's, but there's another one, Versona. I think that's how you pronounce it, Versona. It's a store that's similar to Charming Charlie's, but if you go to the back of the store, they have so much jewelry at the back of the store that is marked down, and a lot of my earrings I've gotten there or at Kohl's, and I will often be able to find them on clearance for like $3 or $4 a pair. So that is where that's my favorite place. Charming Charlie's I've been to. Their clearance, I didn't think it was quite as great, or they didn't have as many earring options that I loved as Versona, but not all cities have Versona and Charming Charlie's. So, or, you know, so anyway, I don't know where all Versona is. I just know when we were in Kansas they had it, and that's where I've gotten a lot of Marys. So, and then Coles. What does a typical evening and bedtime routine look like at your house with 3 kids? Every day is a little bit different at our house because we're self-employed entrepreneurs and we travel, and we sometimes have product launches and we have different things going on. But the typical routine would be something like dinner, kind of hang out as a family, and then our kids are old enough that they can get themselves all ready for bed, and then sometimes we snuggle or just kind of talk together. It seems like at night, that is when the kids have all these questions that they want to answer, ask, and so we will talk, and then it's usually just sending them to bed. So we don't have this really amazing evening routine. Since we spend all day together, it's a little bit different than if you know, we both went to work and they went to school. We would have much more of a I feel like the evening routine would be really important. For us, it's more the morning. By the evening, honestly, I am usually so tired that I just want to go to bed. So I'm not great for much after about 8:30, 9 o'clock. You want to know dressing your truth, my dressing your truth type. I am a type 4. A type 4. And that was also really helpful to me to go through that course and discover that I'm a type 4, and so realize that all the flowy stuff is not my thing, and it's okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying about my transparency. I just want to be honest and truthful, and this is how it is. I think it's so easy for people to put people up on a pedestal, and I'm really big about lowering the stage and knocking myself off of pedestals, because you don't want to be up on a pedestal. You don't. I want to be in the crowd with you all, because I'm with you in this and learning right alongside you and struggling right alongside you. So, you know, yes, the gratitude journal, you can purchase that on Amazon. I don't have mine with me right here, but you can purchase our Choose Gratitude Journals on Amazon, and as a little teaser, we have a new Mother's Journal, a Mother's Gratitude Journal that's coming out in the next, I think it'll be out by November, and it's beautiful, and I'm so excited. And then we have a kids gratitude journal that's coming out in April, and I am so excited about it. Oh my goodness, guys, it's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to share more with you. We're working on the specs right now. But what's the type thing that you were just talking about? It's dressing your truth. Is a few days ago, I did a scope on your wardrobe and a minimalist wardrobe and simplifying your wardrobe, and I talked about dressing your truth, which is a course that teaches you how to dress for what your style or your inner kind of bent is, what you gravitate towards more. So type 4 is more bold colors, straight lines, classic, and I found that when I dress my truth, when I dress according to that, I have so much more confidence. And when I wear things that are kind of pale and maybe more flowy or just not fitted so well, I don't have the same confidence. And so if you go to MoneySavingMom.com/scope, MoneySavingMom.com/scope, you can get the links where I have a full review on Dressing Your Truth, the full review on the Dressing Your Truth course that I did. So if you're interested in reading my thoughts about that, go to MoneySavingMom.com/scope to get the full review on what Dressing Your Truth is. You can do a scope on your husband, how he has grown since his lazy days, as you once mentioned. Yes, I want to do a scope with my husband, but we'll see. I would really like to do a scope with him and have him share kind of from his perspective. I really want him to do a scope about rental houses and what we've learned there, and I really would like to do a scope where we can kind of just talk about marriage, and there's things that I feel like I can't talk about when it's just me. It's better when it's coming from a couple. So yeah, I'll have to do that sometime. I just missed a bunch of questions. Sorry, y'all. So yeah, we'll see if we can get him to do that sometime. So you would like to hear a marriage scope. Yeah, marriage is one of those things I'm very passionate about, and feel like that there is so much need to share, and we do have a really great marriage. We work really hard for it. But it's one of those things you're almost like, it's kind of like child training, where I don't really want to, I feel like ask me about it in 25 years from now, because I'm still learning, and still have so much more to learn and grow. And we've only been married for 13 years. We'll be married for 13 years in January. So someone asked about your kids and their being an introvert or extrovert. I have 2 of my kids are introverts and 1 is an extrovert. And so we only have 1 extrovert in our family, 1 extrovert. So that's been a challenge, because I have to understand that she needs a lot of social interaction. She loves to be with people. She loves making new friends. She just loves people. And I have to be cognizant of this whenever I just would love to, stay home all day, multiple times a week, and realizing that I need to give her opportunities to be with people, because that's what feeds her. So that's been something that we're just now starting to really work on. She's 8. My kids are 10, 8, and 6. And so the 10-year-old and the 6-year-old are the introverts, and the 8-year-old is the extrovert. And so figuring out, my 10-year-old and 6-year-old would much rather just stay home more, and the 8-year-old wants to go. And so we are learning this as we go, and I don't feel like I have a lot of wisdom to share there, other than to say us knowing that what our children's Myers-Briggs are. We had them take the test not too long ago, and that really helped us to understand them better. And then for us to be able to get when, my 8-year-old is saying, we just haven't seen anybody for 2 days, to understand that that's because she's an extrovert, and I don't want to stifle her personality. I want to embrace her personality and encourage her and nurture her in her personality. So you have 3 extroverted kids. That sounds like a lot. That sounds draining, but I'd love to hear from you, other parents, if some of you, have children who are a little bit older, and how you've dealt with having introverted and extroverted kids, or being an introverted parent with an extroverted child, or vice versa. I'd love to hear this, because I feel like this is something that is going to make a big difference in our home. And I feel like having only 1 extrovert, I feel kind of badly of how do we make sure we nurture her personality and not stifle it. And so I've just really been thinking about that a lot recently. So anyway, my time is up, but thank you so much for joining us today, and be sure to come back at 3 p.m. Central Time this afternoon, where I will be doing a scope on balancing working from home and life, or just working and life in general. How do you find a good balance, and how do you find a healthy balance? And that will be at 3 p.m. Central Time. If you haven't done so already, be sure to go to MoneyMakingMomBook.com, where you can sign up for our free 5-day course on how I make a full-time income from home. And I will look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.